You went to bed on time, the room was quiet. Your body was tired, you avoided coffee, turned off the TV early, maybe even lit a lavender candle. But then came the restless tossing, the strange dreams, the dry mouth, the heavy chest, the morning fog. And you woke up feeling like you hadn't rested at all. You probably thought it was just age catching up. Or maybe you assumed it was the stress of another day, the endless medical appointments, or the nagging pain in your knee. But what if the real reason was much closer? What if it was sitting in your kitchen right now? What if the one thing that's been sabotaging your sleep, possibly even endangering your heart, is a so-called harmless snack you've eaten every night for years? And if you're over 65, that tiny habit could mean the difference between waking up refreshed or not waking up at all. This isn't about fear, it's about truth. And what I'm about to share may shock you, because among the 8 foods we'll uncover, 2 of them are already affecting millions of seniors. Yet most people have no idea what they're really doing to the body, the brain, and the heart during sleep. One mimics the symptoms of a heart attack. The other quietly triggers blood sugar surges that jolt your nervous system awake, even while you're sleeping. If you or someone you love is in their 60s, 70s, or beyond, this might be the most important thing you hear all day. And before we continue, I'd love to know what's your go-to nighttime snack. Drop it in the comments. It might surprise you to find it on today's list. And if you care about quality sleep, real elder reflections, or gaining senior health insight that actually protects your mind and body, please hit that subscribe button. We share real-life lessons, motivation, and inspiration rooted in elderly wisdom. You deserve to rest, you deserve to heal, and it starts with the food you choose tonight. Let's begin with one of the most underestimated threats to senior sleep: spicy food. It's a favorite across cultures, and often a source of pride. Just ask 84-year-old Robert Jennings. Every evening he whipped up his signature spicy chili, loaded with jalapenos and red pepper flakes. It was a tradition he inherited from his father, a recipe he perfected over 5 decades. It tasted like comfort, like identity, like home. But Robert's nights began to change. First, he noticed a slow-burning feeling creeping up his chest. Then came the pressure, the kind that makes you sit up in bed wondering if your heart is failing. He woke up in a cold sweat, chest tight, coughing. His doctor ran tests. His heart looked fine, blood work normal. Still, the panic attacks returned. Always at night, always after his spicy dinner. What Robert didn't realize is something that affects nearly every senior as they age. The esophageal valve, the one that separates the stomach from the throat, weakens over time. That valve, known as the lower esophageal sphincter, is like a gate. In your younger years, it stays strong and closed. But after 65, gravity loses its power. The valve loosens and stomach acid begins to travel upward while you lie down. Add spicy food to the mix, and what you get is a chemical firestorm inside your body. Spicy meals stimulate more acid production. That acid creeps up into the throat, causing burning, tightness, and in severe cases, symptoms that feel exactly like a heart attack. Thousands of seniors end up in the ER every year, terrified that they're having a cardiac event, when in reality, it's the chicken tikka masala they ate 2 hours earlier. But beyond the discomfort, acid reflux interrupts the body's most precious repair time. Deep sleep. Without deep sleep, the immune system weakens. Inflammation builds, memory becomes foggy, muscles recover slower, and the heart never truly rests. Spicy food may seem harmless, even energizing, but for aging bodies, especially those prone to reflux, it can silently rob years of vitality. So what should you do? You don't have to give up spices entirely, but timing is everything. Avoid chili, curry, and hot sauces within 3 hours of bedtime. Give your body a chance to digest upright. Try substituting strong flavors with calming herbs: basil, thyme, parsley. Not everything flavorful has to be fiery. And more importantly, listen to your body. If you feel pressure in your chest at night or wake up coughing, ask yourself, what did I eat? Sometimes the answer isn't in a pill bottle. It's on your plate. Elderly wisdom teaches us that discomfort is often our body's way of speaking to us. So take note. Protect your sleep like you would your eyesight or your heart, because they're all connected. Now let's move to the second most overlooked threat to senior rest. Patricia's nights grew turbulent. Her dreams became bizarre. She'd wake up drenched in sweat, confused, heart racing. By morning, her mind was cloudy. She started forgetting names, mixing up appointments. Her family grew concerned. They wondered if it was dementia. But the real culprit was hidden in that innocent slice of pie. Sugar, especially before bed, is a major sleep disruptor. When consumed, it causes a sharp spike in blood glucose levels. Your body reacts by releasing insulin to bring it down. That insulin surge sends a message to your brain. Wake up, be alert, stay active. Your heart rate increases, your metabolism fires up. Your nervous system goes into motion. You may not feel it, but your body is working while it's supposed to be shutting down. Seniors metabolize slower than younger adults. That means sugar lingers longer in the bloodstream, and that lingering glucose keeps the brain from entering deep REM sleep, the stage where memories consolidate, cells repair, and your immune system resets. Worse, repeated nighttime sugar spikes have been linked to increased nighttime blood pressure, insulin resistance, and even irregular heart rhythms in older adults. It's not just about poor sleep. It's about higher risk for stroke, cognitive decline, and cardiac events. So what's the alternative? If you truly need a small snack before bed, avoid pastries, cookies, or sweetened yogurts. Instead, reach for a banana, rich in magnesium and potassium, both minerals that calm the nervous system. A warm cup of chamomile or valerian root tea can soothe the mind and body. Even a handful of unsalted almonds provides healthy fats and magnesium for muscle relaxation. You don't have to sacrifice comfort. You just have to reframe it. True comfort isn't a sugar hit at 10 p.m. It's waking up with a clear head, steady energy, and a body that feels ready for the day. And for caregivers watching this, please check your loved one's evening routines. What seems small to you, like a nightly dessert, might be draining their brain power, stealing their sleep, and accelerating their decline. Talk to them. Share what you've learned. Replace judgment with encouragement, because change starts with understanding, not fear. Elderly motivation comes from knowing that small steps still matter, that you can be 70, 80, even 90, and still make better choices. Still wake up better tomorrow than you did today. Now that we've covered these first two sleep saboteurs, don't stop here. The next section reveals two even more dangerous bedtime habits, including one that's been directly linked to heart attacks during sleep. We'll break down the hidden risks of processed meats and caffeine, and why even one slice of bacon or a cup of decaf can turn a peaceful night into a dangerous one. If you're serious about protecting your heart, your memory, and your sleep, don't miss what's coming next. Your body and your future depend on it. Let's begin this second part with a question that may hit a little too close to home. Have you or someone you love ever woken up in the middle of the night with tightness in the chest, shortness of breath, or a strange pressure that just wouldn't go away? It wasn't quite pain, but it was enough to make you sit up in bed, heart pounding, eyes wide open in the dark. Maybe you thought, is this it? The scary part is, for seniors, these episodes aren't always dramatic heart attacks. Sometimes they're caused by something far more familiar, something you've been eating for years without a second thought. That's exactly what happened to 77-year-old Harold Randall. Every night around 9:30, he made himself a plate of crackers with a few slices of bacon or pepperoni, thinking it was a light, satisfying way to end the evening. He called it his salty nightcap. But then came the episode. His EKG showed nothing critical, yet the symptoms kept returning. The truth? His bedtime snack was quietly overloading his heart and blood vessels night after night. But processed meats, ham, bacon, sausage, pepperoni, salami, are packed with two dangerous things: sodium and saturated fat. For seniors, these are a deadly combination. Sodium causes your body to retain fluid, increasing blood volume and putting extra strain on your heart. Saturated fat thickens your blood, slows circulation, and raises LDL cholesterol. Now think about what happens during sleep. Your heart rate slows down. Your body is supposed to enter a low-pressured recovery mode. But if your bloodstream is overloaded with salt and fat, your heart has to work harder even while you rest. And that's where the real danger lies. This misalignment between what your body wants and what your dinner created is why processed meats are now directly linked to nighttime heart attacks. Yes, literal cardiac events that happen during sleep, especially in older adults. And the worst part is, many seniors think a small portion is harmless. It's just a couple slices, they say. But it's not about quantity, it's about timing. Your body is most vulnerable when it's asleep. And what you eat before bed decides whether your heart gets to rest or has to fight its way through the night. Elderly reflections remind us that habits once safe in youth may not serve us in old age. Senior health is not just about what you eat. It's about when you eat it. If your evening routine includes processed meat, it's time to reconsider. A safer alternative is lean turkey slices, low in sodium, high in protein, and naturally rich in tryptophan, an amino acid that supports sleep. Even better, try unsalted nuts like almonds or walnuts. They provide magnesium, healthy fats, and a calming effect on the nervous system without clogging your arteries or spiking your blood pressure. You can still have your snack, but let it nourish you, not endanger you. And now we need to address something almost everyone gets wrong: caffeine. Most people think they know how it works. You drink a cup of coffee, get a jolt of energy, and a few hours later it wears off, right? Not quite. For 78-year-old Margaret Klein, a lifelong night owl and retired nurse, her 6 p.m. cup of coffee was a cherished ritual. It reminded her of the long hospital shifts, the late-night reading sessions, and the rhythm of her younger days. Even after retirement, she held on to that routine. Just one warm mug in the evening, sweetened with a little milk and memory. But then, sleep started slipping away. First it was an hour of staring at the ceiling. Then it became nights where she wouldn't sleep at all. She tried everything: lavender oil, soft jazz, white noise machines. Nothing worked. Her body felt tired, but her brain just wouldn't shut off. That's when she learned the truth about caffeine metabolism in seniors. For younger adults, caffeine usually exits the system within 6 to 8 hours. But after 65, your metabolism slows significantly. That means a 6 p.m. coffee might still be active in your bloodstream at midnight or later. Caffeine is a central nervous system stimulant. It increases alertness, speeds up your heart rate, and triggers adrenaline. Even if you don't feel awake, your brain is not truly resting. It stays in a low-level arousal mode, which prevents you from entering the deep sleep phases your body needs to repair and refresh. And here's the kicker: decaf isn't always safe either. Most decaffeinated coffees still contain trace amounts of caffeine, and for sensitive seniors, even those small amounts can disrupt sleep cycles, contribute to higher nighttime blood pressure, and leave you feeling groggy and irritable the next day. It's not just about falling asleep. It's about staying asleep and reaching the stage where your body and brain heal. So what's the solution? Cut off caffeine by 2 p.m. at the latest. That includes not only coffee, but also soda, black tea, green tea, and yes, even dark chocolate. Many seniors overlook chocolate as a caffeine source, yet it can be just enough to keep your mind active into the night. If you crave a warm drink before bed, choose something truly calming and caffeine-free. Herbal teas like lemon balm, chamomile, or valerian root have been shown to ease tension, relax muscles, and gently signal to your brain that it's safe to power down. Even warm oat milk or golden milk with turmeric can be both comforting and sleep supportive. Let's also not ignore the emotional connection many seniors have with caffeine. It's tied to identity, routine, even nostalgia. But part of elderly wisdom is knowing when to adapt. Growth doesn't stop at 65. In fact, the more we honor our changing bodies, the more peace we allow into our lives. Replacing evening caffeine isn't a punishment, it's a gift to your future self. It's waking up without a racing heart, without confusion, without fun. It's the kind of peace that ripples into every area of your day, from memory clarity to emotional stability to physical energy. And if you're a caregiver watching this, I urge you to take a closer look at the evening routines of your loved ones. Is there a cup of coffee on the nightstand, a piece of chocolate on the tray, a harmless decaf sip with the 9 o'clock news? These tiny habits often go unquestioned, but they can explain so much. Restlessness, forgetfulness, irritability, even increased fall risk due to overnight fatigue. Elderly motivation doesn't come from restriction, it comes from clarity. From knowing that even late in life, we can make changes that pay off in safety, comfort, and joy. As we wrap up this section, I want you to reflect on this. Sleep is not just a biological process. It is medicine. For seniors, it is one of the last free, powerful, and underused tools we have to fight inflammation, improve cognition, balance emotions, and extend life. What you eat before bed is either working with you or silently against you. And sometimes the simplest changes are the most profound. Remove the bacon, skip the coffee, and you just might give your heart and mind the break they've been begging for. In the next section, we'll dive even deeper. We'll explore 3 more foods that look healthy but quietly disrupt your brain, digestion, and memory during the most vulnerable hours of the night, including one that's been linked to sleep fragmentation and confusion in the morning. If you've ever struggled with vivid dreams, brain fog, or forgotten conversations, you need to hear what's next. Your health journey doesn't end at 65. It just gets more important. Let's finish strong. Because what you're about to learn may finally explain why your sleep, despite every effort, still feels broken. You might have cut the caffeine, you've avoided spicy foods, you've swapped the sugar, and yet, something still isn't right. You lie in bed, tired but wired. Your dreams are strange. Your mornings start with confusion. Sometimes you wake up in the middle of the night, gasping, bloated, or simply. If that sounds familiar, then stay with me. Because the next 4 foods we're about to cover might seem healthy, even helpful, but they're anything but harmless to an aging body. They sneak into the evening routine under the disguise of wellness, yet quietly strip your sleep of its power. They confuse your digestion, spike your stress hormones, stir up your brain chemistry, and for some, increase the risk of disorientation, inflammation, or even memory loss. But don't worry. Once you understand what they do and why, it becomes easier than ever to reclaim your rest and protect your health. Because sleep, especially for seniors, is not a luxury. It's a lifeline. Let's begin with citrus fruits. Oranges, grapefruits, even pineapples. Delicious, refreshing, packed with vitamin C. Sounds like a good choice, right? That's exactly what James, 76, thought. A disciplined man, stayed on top of his blood work and maintained a mostly plant-based diet. His post-dinner habit was simple. Peel an orange while watching the news, then head to bed. It felt clean, natural, and it tasted like health. But the pattern was undeniable. The nights he ate citrus, James found himself waking up bloated, burning, or coughing. He sometimes needed to sit upright just to breathe comfortably. At first, he blamed his dinner, maybe the pasta or sauce, but the real culprit was the acid hiding in that juicy orange. You see, citrus fruits are highly acidic, and as we've discussed, the esophageal valve weakens with age. That means when seniors lie down after eating acidic foods, stomach acid is far more likely to backtrack up the throat. That's not just heartburn, that's disrupted breathing, that's shallow sleep, that's inflammation rising inside the body during the one time it's supposed to heal. And here's the dangerous part. Most seniors believe that healthy automatically means safe, but that's not always true. Timing matters. Even good foods can be harmful at the wrong hour. Instead of citrus at night, choose low-acid fruits like bananas or pears. They're gentle on digestion, naturally rich in calming minerals, and far less likely to cause reflux. This simple switch can help you sleep deeper, breathe easier, and wake up feeling genuinely rested. Now let's turn to something sneakier: aged cheese. Cheddar, Swiss, Gouda, blue cheese, all rich in flavor, creamy in texture, and comforting in tradition. But here's something few people know. Aged cheese contains high levels of an amino acid called tyramine. And tyramine stimulates brain activity. It increases the release of norepinephrine, a stress hormone that spikes alertness and heart rate. That means aged cheese is in fact a stimulant, especially dangerous before bed. Carol, 81, discovered this the hard way. She'd end each evening with her favorite snack: crackers and cheddar, a glass of water, and her crossword puzzle. But every night, like clockwork, her dreams became intense, vivid, almost cinematic, and every morning she felt mentally exhausted. It wasn't anxiety, it wasn't stress. It was the brain being jolted awake while the body tried to rest. Aged cheese fragments, REM sleep. The stage where your brain repairs merrily, and mutant seniors are especially vulnerable because their REM sleep is already shorter due to age. Disrupting it further leads to confusion, irritability, and cognitive fatigue the next day. If you enjoy dairy at night, opt for soft cheeses like cottage cheese or a small bowl of plain Greek yogurt. These options are higher in tryptophan, a calming amino acid that supports sleep instead of sabotage. You don't have to give up cheese. You just need to choose the kind that works with your aging brain, not against it. Next, we need to address a common trend in the senior wellness world: nighttime protein shakes. George, 74, was dedicated to preserving his muscle mass. He read that seniors need more protein and decided to front-load his nights with high-protein shakes. Filled with powder, almond butter, and milk, it made sense. Muscles recover during sleep, right? But George found himself restless, bloated, waking up to use the bathroom, even breaking into night sweats. That's because heavy protein intake close to bedtime overwhelms an already slowing digestive system. Protein takes longer to break down than carbs or fats. And as we age, our digestion naturally slows, especially in the evening. So instead of supporting the body's recovery, that dense shake kept his metabolism running into the night. Worse, studies now show that consuming too much protein before bed can reduce the time spent in REM sleep, interrupting brain repair and memory processing. And let's not forget the bathroom tris. Extra fluid and digestion keep your system overactive when it should be winding down. The fix? Keep protein high during breakfast and lunch. eggs, legumes, lean meats, but taper off in the evening. If you're hungry before bed, choose something light and calming. Steamed vegetables, a slice of whole grain toast, or herbal tea. Protein is still essential, but when taken at the wrong time, it backfires on the very systems it's meant to help. Elderly wisdom reminds us that nourishment is not just what we eat. And now we reach the last item on the list. The one that pretends to help you sleep but secretly robs your mind of clarity. Alcohol. A small glass of wine, a bit of whiskey, a warm brandy to wind down the night. For many seniors, it's tradition, it's comfort, it's identity. That was true for Mildred, 79, who had one glass of red wine every evening before bed. She believed it helped her relax, and for a while it did. She fell asleep faster, but slowly the mornings changed. Groggy, disoriented, foggy thinking. She began forgetting conversations, struggling with balance, feeling off in ways she couldn't explain. Her daughter noticed mood changes. Her doctor saw nothing obvious, but the truth was hidden in that nightly drink. Alcohol acts as a sedative, but not in a healthy way. It puts the brain to sleep too fast, skipping over natural sleep stages. And as the liver processes the alcohol, it causes blood sugar fluctuations, dehydration, and micro-awakenings that fragment rest. You may sleep for 8 hours on paper, but without REM cycles, your brain is running on fumes. Worse, alcohol increases the risk of nighttime disorientation, a major fall hazard for seniors. It also suppresses melatonin, the hormone that regulates sleep. So even if you fall asleep, your body isn't truly resting. For seniors, even one drink can have lingering effects into the next day, affecting memory, reaction time, and emotional stability. The better option, cut alcohol by 6 p.m. or skip it altogether. Choose a magnesium-rich bedtime snack like a banana or unsalted almonds. Or drink calming herbal teas that support true rest. Chamomile, lemon balm, passion flower. These promote deep, uninterrupted sleep that heals both brain and body. So what have we learned throughout this entire series? We've uncovered 8 foods: spicy meals, sugar, processed meats, caffeine, citrus fruits, aged cheese, heavy protein, and alcohol that may seem harmless on the surface, but can quietly wreck senior sleep. For those over 65, your sleep is your superpower. It's when your heart resets, your brain processes memory, your immune system rebuilds, and your emotions rebalance. When sleep breaks, everything else begins to crumble. And often, it's not stress, disease, or even age. It's what's on your fork after 7 p.m. That's where the power lies, because you can change it, starting tonight. Elderly reflections remind us, wisdom isn't avoiding all mistakes, it's recognizing patterns and choosing better. Aging doesn't mean helplessness. It means learning what no longer serves you and letting it go. So tonight, I invite you to choose just one habit to change. Replace that aged cheese with cottage cheese, swap the bacon for a banana, say goodbye to the wine and hello to herbal tea. These are small changes, but they lead to better mornings, clearer thoughts, safer movements, longer days filled with joy, strength, and freedom. The things you deserve to hold on to as you age. Remember, you are not powerless. You are just one decision away from a peaceful night. And if this video helped bring clarity, comfort, or new understanding, share your thoughts in the comments. Tell us which foods surprise you the most. Which habit are you ready to shift tonight? Your story might inspire someone else to sleep a little better. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. We're building a community that honors senior wisdom, shares real health lessons, and offers daily inspiration for living longer and living better. Because aging doesn't have to be about giving up. It can be about rising up with strength, dignity, and peace of mind. Thank you for watching. Sleep well. You deserve it.